People always assume that because I'm a dermatologist, I never had skin problems, and that could not be further from the truth. The truth is, I struggled with my own hyperpigmentation and dull skin for years, and this struggle is actually what led me to become a dermatologist in the first place. Today, I'm sharing the real story of how I dealt with my own skin issues, the treatments that did not work, the mistakes that I made, and the exact approach that finally gave me clear, healthy skin. The same approach that I now teach to help others avoid the confusion and overwhelm that I experienced. Let me tell you why having skin issues as a dermatologist hits differently. I didn't really know how to properly treat my skin until between my first and second year of residency. So how it works is you go through 4 years of college, you go through 4 years of medical school. Most doctors don't even go through a dermatology residency. So that explains why I did not know how to properly treat my skin until between the first and second year of my dermatology residency. That means I went a full year because on the first day of dermatology residency, you're learning, but you're also seeing patients in a supervised fashion. So, throughout that first year, I'm treating patients when I'm still also learning how to treat my own skin. So that means I'm showing up with imperfect skin, even though I'm helping so many patients clear their skin. It's almost like, why would you go to a dermatologist that doesn't have clear skin? Because if they haven't figured out how to clear their skin, how are they going to figure out how to clear yours? Thankfully, I finally completed my studies and figured it out, but that first year was rough because you have to show up every day with imperfect skin. And there's a lot of data that shows that this has a significant impact on you psychologically, and it significantly impacts your quality of life. So that was an interesting and kind of difficult experience for me. But the truth of the matter is, when you're first learning how to treat your skin, and this goes for you as well, it takes time. It's not an overnight fix. And in fact, if you try to take too many steps at once, it can actually worsen the problem and cause significant irritation. For some people, that can lead to additional hyperpigmentation. So my specific skin issue was acne, but as we know, once your skin is inflamed or it has any kind of trauma to the skin, that can also contribute to uneven tone and hyperpigmentation, which also has a significant impact on your overall confidence. So I was dealing with what we call comedonal acne and also inflammatory acne. Basically, I had a lot of blackheads, just uneven, rough texture, inflamed acne bumps, sometimes painful as well. I couldn't quite understand why my skin was not clearing because I was trying to figure it out on my own, buying up all of the products for acne, layering multiple new acne treatment products at a time for the very first time. Even though I had not used any of these products before, my skin was sensitive, the acne was not clearing, and now I had even more sensitive skin. It wasn't until I started my process to training as a dermatologist that I understood the types of acne and the different vehicles or different formulations that would work best for my skin. Maybe if you're using a potentially irritating acne ingredient in the morning, maybe take it easy at night, or skip a day, just give your skin some time to adjust. So all of these things I had to figure out. And then I also learned that you don't just go and treat the hyperpigmentation right away without treating the thing that's actually causing it. And so you have to get to the root cause, and this is what I understood. I need to treat the issue that's leading to the hyperpigmentation first, which was my acne, and then I could work on the hyperpigmentation once I was finally able to calm down the inflammation, assist with my skin healing, and then take it from there. I also understood that sunscreen was important. I wasn't previously wearing sunscreen before I started my training as a dermatologist because I thought it was just something that we would take to the beach to avoid sunburns, only use when we're going on vacation. But then I finally came to learn it's not just increasing your risk of skin cancer, but it's also contributing to things like hyperpigmentation, uneven skin tone, overall photo aging, and photo damage. I came to learn that it was actually very important for this journey as well. I came to learn about ingredients such as salicylic acid, such as benzoyl peroxide, such as some of the AHA and BHAs, acids, such as, the role that vitamin C antioxidant serums play, the role that hydration plays. I understood the yin and the yang, that it was all a balance, that you had to find the appropriate balance, that you couldn't just go hardcore fighting the acne without also nourishing your skin and supporting your skin barrier. All of these things I came to learn and appreciate throughout my training as a dermatologist, and confidently be able to share my personal experience in treating my patients and also empathize with them when they are also going going through that rough patch. By the way, if you want to learn my step-by-step approach for achieving clear skin without the confusion and without the overwhelm, be sure to click the link in my description below. So I remember trying a chemical peel and being really excited because I thought that professional treatments alone were the answer to my skin issues. But it's still important to select the appropriate type of peel to have the peel applied properly. We can alter the depth of the peel, the strength of the peel by selecting the ingredients, the concentration of those ingredients, how that peel is applied, how many layers of the peel is applied, how long it's left on if it is something that needs to come off or be neutralized. I didn't fully understand that, and so I had my hopes up when I did my first chemical peel, and it just wasn't the right peel. It was appropriate for my skin, but it wasn't quite the right peel for what my skin was experiencing at that time. And so I actually had more irritation and more inflamed skin, which was a bit frustrating because I wasn't moving closer to my goals. And before I even started my training as a dermatologist, I was probably like so many of you doing all of this research online, gathering that long list of ingredients that work for hyperpigmentation, such as hydroquinone, azelaic acid, tranexamic acid, kojic acid, all of the things that work for acne, AHAs, BHAs, salicylic acid, benzoyl peroxide, physical exfoliators, toners, astringents, witch hazel, you name it. Even some of the pricier products are not going to help solve the problem and did not help me because I did not understand how to tailor it to my personal experience. I also didn't understand the importance of things like when adding retinoids for the first time or adding retinol for the first time, the importance of really easing into it and giving my skin time to adjust so that I'm not worsening the problem, but I'm actually able to get true benefit of the product. So that might mean for some people layering it in once every other day rather than jumping into every night immediately right off the bat. So it's always best to start more conservatively to really give your skin time to adjust. There's this common misconception that, oh, if you have oily or acne prone skin, that maybe it's a hygiene issue, or maybe you're not scrubbing your skin enough, or maybe you're not washing your skin enough. Whereas some people with acne can actually have more sensitive skin. It's inflamed, it needs to be healed, and it needs to be approached with care. I also picked out a cleanser that had an ingredient that would specifically target my acne, but because I was starting out with it for the first time and I didn't want to over dry my skin, I actually started slowly. I didn't use it every day. I started every other day or every 2 days. And then if I found that my skin was tolerating it fine and I wanted to go that extra mile or take it to the next step, then I would just use it in the mornings and maybe just use a gentle hydrating cleanser at night. I didn't add too many antioxidant serums yet. I wanted to give my skin time to adjust to those ingredients first. I used a nice light moisturizer and a good light sunscreen that would not clog my pores. And then in the evening, I used a hydrating wash and I eased into adding a retinol every other night until I was finally able to work my way up to using it every night. And then I used a nice light moisturizer that did not cause any irritation to my skin. And then I was able to kind of work my way up from there. And then once I gave my skin some time to adjust to that, and I was starting to see improvement over those first few weeks, then I looked into things like adding a vitamin C serum because I had not been using one yet and I just wasn't sure how well my skin was going to tolerate it. So then I was able to add that in and start now working on some of the after effects of having acne. One of the things that was also very helpful for me during this time was documenting my journey, taking photos so that I can also appreciate how far I came and be able to look back and see that I am making progress, because sometimes it can be really hard to appreciate that if you're staring at it every day because your skin is making small improvements over time, and it's really hard to see that if you're not properly documenting your process. I think one of the key things that's really underlooked is the lifestyle modifications. I did make significant lifestyle modifications during this time. I focused on really getting that fresh produce in, avoiding ultra processed foods with empty calories, really reducing or eliminating the amount of refined sugars as well, replacing those with fruits and natural sugars. That really played a huge role in my overall progress and the quality of my skin and also how I felt. I really focused on having proper ways to reduce stress. Reducing that cortisol will have a positive impact on the skin. So whether that's journaling, going for a walk, mindfulness practices, yoga, working out, meditation, really focus on getting quality sleep, winding down before bed, making sure I get enough hours, and if I am not able to get all of my hours in every night, making up for it on the weekends. This has a huge impact on how well our skin is able to heal and also how well we feel overall. So there were so many key lessons that I learned in the process of clearing my own skin that I was able to carry forth with me and be able to help so many of my patients and so many of the people learning through my program. I learned that consistency is so much more important than perfection, and progress is so much more important than perfection. You're not gonna get it right every single day, every single time, and that's okay. Just continue to take that step forward and try to be consistent. That's why I think it's so important to choose a routine that we can actually maintain, because like I mentioned, your skin needs time to adjust, but that emotional roller coaster of being frustrated and having breakouts always at the worst time really helped me be able to share that personal experience with so many of my patients going through the same thing. I was actually in college. I had a lot of my pre-med classes, exams coming up at the same time, and I really wanted to do well on them. And I had the worst breakout during that time. And it was challenging because you really want to put your best foot forward. You want to show up with the ultimate confidence. And it was so hard to do that. So now when someone comes in, I'm asking, what products are you using? What's worked well for you in the past that's not working well for you now? What changes in life are you going through? Is it a particularly stressful time? Have you had changes in your diet? Have you had significant changes in your hormones? All of these things play a role, and my perspective shifted through my personal experience in not just learning the products and learning the ingredients and learning the skin condition, but also learning how all of these other factors play a role. I'm a dermatologist. I still get a breakout every now and then, and sometimes it's in the most inopportune times, but I think it makes us human, and it helps me to understand my patients better and really approach things not just from a clinical expertise, but also a personal experience and an empathy that can be so powerful when I'm in that room with my patient who's struggling or somebody who's going through my program. Ultimately, it is my mission, and something that I find so rewarding and something that I take immense pride in is being able to help people avoid the trial and error that I had to go through, or at least shorten the learning curve, because there's so much online and it can be so confusing and so overwhelming to even know how to apply that to your specific situation. That's why I became a dermatologist, or how I got interested in it. I wanted to treat myself and be able to also treat so many people dealing with the same issues. It made me a better doctor, a more empathetic doctor, and ultimately led me to develop the approach that I now use to help so many women achieve clear, radiant skin without the confusion and without the overwhelm. If you want to learn my complete approach to achieving clear, glowing skin without the internet confusion and wasted time, be sure to click the link in my description below. I'll see you in the next video.